All right. Aretta, can you hear us?
I can hear and see you.
Yay!
Yay!
See, this is what happens when Jenna's not here. Okay.
Let's start the meeting at 7:02. Before we do start, there's going to be a moment of silence after our pledge allegiance. So 7:02.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll do a quick roll call. Supervisor Brody?
Here.
Clerk Stephanie here. Treasurer Joel?
Here.
Trustee Shelby? Here. And Trustee Nick?
Here.
The agenda. I think, Mark, the only thing that we had said was the Noxious weed ordinance. We kind of figured out after putting on the agenda that, or did you still want to talk about it?
It doesn't matter. We could.
We can say it right now. I mean, part of blight, so.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as written. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public comment for 2 minutes on agenda items only. Maybe on screen. Approval of the previous minutes.
You got a road on the bottom. Sorry, these printed wrong. Flip up.
Upside down.
Yeah. I was putting them together. I was like, man, you really want us to work tonight.
The thing I noticed that there was old business on the fire department update. Said $847,000 budget was approved. Doesn't talk about the $100,000 capital under, which is actually totals $947,000.
Okay, so 100, I'll amend that. So 100,000 capital, making it 947,000.
All the minutes, I made a mistake on that. The last day without any penalty is actually the 15th. Instead of the 16th.
I will change that as well.
15th on Sunday.
No, the
The
14th.
14th, that's the last day. I'll give you one more.
Any other changes anybody else sees?
Don't.
It all looks good. Good.
Make a motion to approve of the previous minutes with the corrections. The fire department update for 947 and the tax. the last day of pay tax on the 14th.
The 15th, actually.
15th. 14th is a Sunday, so they give you an extra day, which is the 15th.
Right.
I got it, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine, man.
Got it. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Disbursements.
All right, so we had a total for payroll of $13,550.89. So you'll see Shelby on here twice, only because I had to cancel her check because it didn't get to her, so I had to reissue it. And then you'll also see some new names on here: Marie Bundy, Laura Delani, Wendy Howard, and they are our election workers, and so we had that August election, so they're on here. First check for Megan Cranston, who is our deputy cemetery person. Other than that, everything else is pretty straightforward. And then vendors, you'll see, we had a check out to Milan Area Fire Department for $42,708. That included our first quarter for 2025, 2026, but it also included incident runs, I believe from June. So, and then they're also, oh, and with that too in there, because I forgot I merged them all. They did not get a check from us back from October 24. That was never cleared. And it was put into their system. It just was never put into the account. So I had to cancel that check and reissue that. So that was like $7,000 that it was included at 42,000. So everything else is pretty straightforward. DTE, 941s, all that good jazz. Apex software is Karen's assessing software. So that was for her. We had power washing done, and then then a water haul. We had a road commission check of $154,000 go out, and then Joel, you had a property tax of $411. So it's a total of $618,313.22. So a total of, go ahead, sorry.
Quick question on the DT, why we have two bills?
Because one's for streetlights and one's for heating and electric. Yep. Thank you for asking. So it's a total of $631,864.11 for complete disbursements this past month. I know, I wish I would be able to.
Make a motion to accept it.
We'll do a roll call. Supervisor Bogey,
Yes.
Clerk Stephanie, yes. Treasurer Joel,
Yes.
Trustee Shelby, yes. Trustee Net.
Yes.
Fund balances.
All right, your general fund has $176,021. Tax account has $466,836. Fire fund has $120,310. Road fund has $100,552. ICS has $425,483 for a total of $1,289,224. In CDs, we have $422,621. Farm account is $72,840 for a combined of $1,784,685. And I believe that without the tax account, it's $1,317,849.
I make a motion to accept the fund balance.
Hold on one second. This last Old National CD, you still have that, or did you get rid of it? You have to change it over?
I still have it.
He just renewed it one more year for Old National.
Yeah, they're terrible, aren't they?
I think we need to move that one.
I make a motion to accept the fund balances.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Opposed?
Motion carries. Building report.
We had 2 building permits pulled, 2 plumbing, and then 3 building inspections were completed, and Robert worked a total of 14 hours.
And on the back, Shelby, I don't know if you saw, but Mike Seeker, who covers for Robert when he's out, he did 2
2 inspections.
Yeah. Make motion to accept building report.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Assessor's report.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Plenty good.
Clear? Okay. I'm continuing parcel reviews on Day Road and Dennison Road, utilizing aerials and GIS mapping along with some field inspections. Other work information, working on the clerk statement for taxes, 591 form and gathering information. I will need the light assessment from you, Joel, and the information on the drains, which is forthcoming. Usually it's not until like September 30th. Finalizing economic condition factors and land values for the residential class. The residential starting ratio is 44.67 for the 2026 assessments. Last year it was 48.03. I'm awaiting appraisal studies for commercial, agricultural, and industrial classes, which are forthcoming from the County Equalization Department. I attended an updated assessing and tax BSNA cloud training class, which was actually really good. I really liked it. I can share more with you guys if you want to know. Looking ahead, I'm going to complete the 591 form and turn it into the county clerk before October 1st. I'm going to organize and schedule building permit inspections for the November and December field work. And just a note that I will not be in the office on Monday, but I will be available by phone or email. So please provide my business cell to anyone who needs anything at 734-347-2238. Thank you.
Thanks, Karen.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to accept the assessor's report.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ordinance report.
The Ridge Road case went to the circuit court hearing on the 6th of August. Judge ruled in Township's favor. Defendant has 14 days to appeal the ruling or get it done. The blight at 17922 Welch Road complaint was investigated by Mr. Doobie. There's trash on the ground. He went back, they were cleaning it up, and back again, it's finally cleaned up. Sherman Road, there was a complaint. Followed up on that complaint. Nothing there to address. That's it.
I'll make a motion to accept the ordinance report.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Fire department report. So we had 18 runs last month. Most were basically, looks like motor vehicle accidents. But fuel. So 18 runs. Normally it's, which we're turning up a little bit, we're only 11, 9, 13, 15, 16. I mean, the average is about 8 to 10 runs a month. So we're just up a little bit on that one. There was a couple medicals on there.
With building fire on Runco Road.
Yeah.
No, power lines out. Yeah, power line. A couple of non-typicals. Yeah, those are mutual aids in that.
Okay. So anyway, we're trending up on that this month, but we have been trending down. Normal, so that's really good on that.
I make a motion to accept the fire department report.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Sheriff's Department report. They had a total of 64, which is pretty high. Normally we're in the 30s.
That's just for us?
That was just for us.
Wow.
Basically, we're traffic stops for the big ones. We did call the state out here. We had some more semi issues going on, and they did show up right away. So it's a very busy month. Oh, yeah. Any questions on that?
I make a motion to accept the sheriff's report.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. We're gonna talk about the ordinance draft for Milan Township, regular.
Milan Township regulating carbon sequestration exploratory wells and infrastructure ordinance.
I took time to read through this.
And Nick gave us a little highlight for table of contents.
This hits the main points here if you want to go down the main point.
Section 2, purpose and intent, gives the township the ability to review and approve the project before it is installed. Section 5, permit, of course, the township permit is required. Application requirements, application is required. Fees, gives the township the ability to collect initial and annual fees for oversight. There's a special note, gives the township 10 cents per metric ton injected. Section 8 is setbacks and hazard mitigation. Section 8A is operational restrictions, so restricting them from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, no Saturday or Sunday without written approval. Section 9, insurance, there's a $10 million general liability and a applicable letter of credit to cover maintenance costs. Section 10, well monitoring, wells within a 2-mile radius will be monitored quarterly. Section 11, public notice, prior to issuance of permit, township will hold a public hearing before considering application. Section 13 is abandonment. 14 is transfer of ownership, new application will be required. And then section 16 is penalties, it's a $2,500 violation, cost per day. Per violation.
Industrial zoning.
Yeah, that was one thing I think most of us saw was that we need to add that it's only allowed in I-1 and I-2.
Yes. And, the other item I want to say, only CO2 produced in Milan Township will be put down that well, not Iowa.
Yeah.
I did talk, I got one phone call from not one resident, no letters, no nothing on this CO2. I think this last meeting we talked about that we want to talk about. I'm gonna tear it down. My concern is I really don't want this thing, but I think if we don't step on this correctly, then we'll get overrun and we get nothing. We gotta move our township forward, but I want to do it the safest way possible.
We'll say this way and making sure that the township isn't harmed, meaning water is compromised, air quality is compromised, lighting pollution, all of that, noise pollution, all of that. Because even though it's over in an industrial, it's still a rural area.
I guess. You have anything to say about this, Mr. Dave?
No, we'll go ahead and add those into I-1 and I-2, and the injection has to be only generated on Milan Township. We'll put that together for you, put it to bed then.
Okay.
Okay. And then, roll salary contract. So we kind of hired a lawyer on this deal to help us through this. And he looked at it, and so far it doesn't look too bad. You want to give comments on it, or?
Yeah, I mean, you know, like we talked a week ago, the Senate adopted Senate Bill 394 through 396. What the Senate, what the state legislature is doing is setting up a permitting process through the state. What is unclear to me, although I should say, I think it's clear to me that they haven't preempted your zoning authority, but that's not the final version either. Obviously, the House would have to adopt it. I'm not sure they're going to adopt the same version. Then they might have to reconcile those two different versions. So I don't know yet what's going to come out of that. Moreover, I don't know whether the state would assert that it's what we call occupy the field of regulation, so that it would preempt any sort of permitting ability of the township, even under your zoning ordinance. It doesn't appear so right now in the version that was adopted. So there may be future amendments to this, depending on what the state does with their legislative process.
Basically, we need to get something in place to protect ourselves right now.
Correct.
I had one thing for Dave. The class 5, 6, you know, should this be all classes? Because Michigan doesn't have a class 5, is that correct?
No, they do have a class 5. Class 5 is oil and gas. Okay, class 6 technically through EPA is injection, CO2 injection. But the state of Michigan hasn't recognized a class 6, so, or a type 6, so they have bundled this into a class 5.
So it'll remain a class 5, so.
It'll remain a class 5, and that's why we are very definitive on what we're talking about in class 5. We're not talking about oil and gas, talking about CO2 burning out.
But if one comes in later, I'm just saying.
We're gonna have to update the ordinance.
Okay.
If the state legislature changed to, recognizing a 6,
But that'd be a quick change in the ordinance, wouldn't it?
it would be.
And then I had another question on the abandonment. This says it will be removed up to 48 inches below. But I'm assuming this will be abandoned per the NVEQ's, regulations. Whether they put grout in it or whatever they're supposed to do.
And then the health permit is concerned as well, because of the fact that they have to monitor water, so water loss. Okay, that's it.
I agree with everything that everybody said. I agree, Mark, that we definitely need to put something in just to protect us where we're at right now. Obviously, a lot of these things that we've got coming down the pipeline are things that we've never had to address in the past, so it's all new ground. That's the reason why we're leaning on Dave so much, and now we're gonna lean on Mike a little bit too, just to kind of get us through, because we want to make sure that if this is something that is gonna be here, that it's appropriate for this township, and we are regulating how it comes into. We don't want to get run over by things from the outside coming in. So
Absolutely.
I did want to say that our current moratorium for CO2 drilling projects is coming due in November. So preemptively, I just drafted a new moratorium to extend it another 6 months, just to kind of get us through this. And then, if there's any amendments that we need to go through, just to kind of give us a little bit of a cushion to make sure that this is rock solid. I think this is something we definitely want to move forward with, but I think we should move forward with, but at least the moratorium, and it can be resolved or dissolved, as soon as we say, this is it, this is our clean copy. So I do have that teed up if that's something that you guys want to move forward with.
Joel,
Giving the township 10 cents per metric ton for the jack is a whole lot of tons.
It could be a whole lot of tons, but from what I read on it, they don't know what the tonnage is right now. I don't know if somebody, Dave has an idea of how many tons.
No, I know, you're asking how long a piece of rope is right now. We
Yeah.
don't know how much they're gonna be generating. First off, we intend they'll be generating it. And the second thing, how much will it be generated, we don't know. Because we don't know the size of, let's say, if they decide to have a gas plant, we don't know the size of the gas plant they're gonna have. So therefore, we don't know what they're going to be generating.
Right. So it's pretty much all just coming from that gas plant.
I'm assuming that right now, but we don't know. We don't, and the point that was made earlier is we just want to make sure whatever is going to be injected, if it's a CO2, is going to be coming from Milan Township. It's not coming from outside. So we don't want to be the gathering point for like the same for Canada or anybody else that's not going to, that's going to need that. So.
No, even if it wasn't just southeast or Michigan, for the CO2, I don't know how many tons we're talking about here.
Well, and what I kind of thought too, even if we say maybe not just Milan Township, but like the surrounding, the townships and cities that connect to us. So
Or just say
Milan
Monroe
City,
County.
Monroe County, yeah.
or the surrounding communities. Oh,
That's vague.
well, I mean, anything that touches us.
Right.
London, Dundee Township, Macon Township.
Yeah, I think it's probably to get spelled out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would just think because we're in Monroe County, if every county had their own deep well injection.
It has to do with geology though. The geological formation will determine if they get into the ground. And that's why I believe that whether looking at final.
Anything else, Joel?
No.
Joe? I guess I got you only one left is, can we limit it to one well per township?
That's the lead question. I can talk about that at a later time.
Yeah, there's this general exclusionary zoning provision under the zoning enabling act. What it says is you can't prohibit a lawful land use when there's a demonstrated need. I struggle to see what a demonstrated need is in this context. Well, maybe a want, I don't know that it's a need. But it's a new and emerging land use, so, you know, these things get tested over time.
Makes sense. I just say, what was the bottom line here? Are we just talking around Township, we're talking Monroe County for the verbiage?
I think we should extend it to Milan City, London Township, Dundee Township, Macon Township.
Just anyone touches.
Just the townships that touch us, and then Milan City.
Any community that's adjacent to you then.
Correct. Yeah, you know verbiage. So, any other questions before I make a motion? Okay. So I make a motion that we adopt this ordinance with the inclusion of the adjacent counties or townships, and then adding that it's industrial zones, areas on it. So I wanted that too.
Only possible Milan Township.
Oh, well, that's the adjacent, yeah, Milan Township, yeah, or adjacent entities, so.
I've talked to lawyers, I've talked to. I think it's our safest bet. Some protection in place for us. I don't know what else to do with it.
Do I have a second?
Either one.
I heard Shelby, so. And then I also want to make a motion to extend the current moratorium until, it did not, but it would be until April of 2026. From November, so, right? No, from today's date. So I had originally put it, I don't know why I didn't say it, but it was April 16th, because that would take us after our April meeting. So our April meeting is April 9th, so if we have to talk about it again, we still have a week before it expires, so. Yes. Second.
So you already have a main motion on the floor that you have to take a vote on.
Oh, I'm sorry, thank
That's
you.
right.
Yes, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, Mark.
No, you gotta take a roll call. There we go.
Oh, yes, sorry, Roll Supervisor Rogan.
Yes.
First
What's the
step,
motion? What's the motion?
This is for the adopted ordinance.
Yes.
Yes,
With the changes.
with the changes, yes. Supervisor Rogan,
Yes.
Stephanie, Clerk Stephanie, yes, Treasurer Joel,
Yes.
Trustee Shelby, yes, and Trustee Nick.
Yes.
All right. Now, the moratorium, I motion to extend it to April 16th. Thank you. Okay. We're good.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, on to the data center.
So the first one is just the, we have a first draft of a data center overlay ordinance. And I believe the PC was working, were you working with the PC on the data center overlay?
I gave them a copy of it, and and I've talked with Pat briefly about it, they spent extensive amount of time going over it. I have not got their comments back yet, but as soon as I get those back, we're gonna put it together.
Okay, so this is the first draft that they're working on now, so I did draft up a resolution for a moratorium for data centers. Did you, yes, I don't know where my copy went. Yes, so it's data centers with, so it's resolution for a moratorium on data centers and other AI technology projects. Just because we don't have an ordinance currently, while we're working on it, so we can make sure that we get an ordinance put in place, to make sure that we're safe and everything's aligned before site applications can be done it. So it's very similar to all the other ones that we've done previously. So the outline would be until April 16th of 2026. Any questions on that?
No, I think we need to dig in our ordinance, make sure it's proper, I mean,
Right.
make sure it's welcomed in here, I don't really have a problem with it, but I wanna make sure we're doing it correctly.
Correct.
That's my big concern.
Right. Especially since there's so many unknowns with data centers, and we do have a water issue out here, and I understand that we were told that it wouldn't be water cooled and all of that, but I would really like something in writing to protect our residents, to make sure that nothing happens and that's not good for them.
Any questions on it, Nick?
The water issue is a good issue. Main thing I think we should probably put in this ordinance.
Yeah.
Where's water coming from?
Mhm.
They gotta have a source. Way to turn it into an application.
Right.
But data center, I looked at where they put it. Here. Looks a lot bigger than what I had first
Anticipated. I agree.
And this is, I don't know how many acres it is, if anybody has an idea. But it's got 400 acres.
Yeah, but we're only doing 120.
Our piece of it.
We're less than half of what they're doing. They got to be doing a couple hundred maybe,
About 250.
250. This would be 250, 370, you're almost 400, I guess. 400, that's a lot for data center. I never visited one, I gotta go visit one.
Yeah, we're supposed to go next week. So.
I'm concerned with the water, I have in New York, you saw that it has to be municipal water, they can't take water from the ground.
Oh, perfect. I think that was our main concern was, just because we don't have city water up here, that where are they gonna get it from? So I make a motion to accept the resolution for moratorium on data centers and other AI technology projects.
I'll second that.
Supervisor Bobby,
Yes.
Clerk Stephanie, yes, Treasurer Joel,
Yes.
Trustee Shelby, and Trustee Nick.
Yeah.
So it's all in that red.
Yep.
Yeah.
Multiple buildings. That's just the chunk.
Yeah, tonight about it. On to the lawyer update.
So I think we were just bringing this back, so I know you have talked to Mike, and, you know, you were kind of using your discretionary funds to kind of get some ideas from him and everything, so I think we've put that on the agenda to talk about what conversations you've had with him, if you feel like he would be, him and his office would be a great addition to making sure, you know, working with Dave and with us, making sure all of this new renewable stuff is being done appropriately in the township, so I think that's kind of what we.
Yes, I talked to him, I talked to Mike on the phone the whole time, so, he's actually. I want to use that terminology. We're actually with him now with the solar, with about 60, 70 townships, maybe 80. 79 townships. Basically.
72 townships and 7 counties.
Wow.
Okay. You know, with the solar deal, we're trying to put that to bed. They've done great work for us so far, they keep us informed. Everyone that helps us with this data center. Because honestly, our lawyer we got now is a good guy, but this is kind of over his head.
This is just so new for a lot of people that it makes sense.
I know Mike's been dealing with it, so.
So I make a motion to hire Foster Swift to help with all the renewable and our ordinances. Supervisor Bobby,
Yes.
Clerk Stephanie, yes, Treasurer Joel,
Yes.
Trustee Shelby. Yes. Trustee Nick.
Yes.
Laptop pool. So we need 2 laptops, obviously, the ones we got are Windows 7 as well.
Yeah,
Windows, I don't even know if they got Windows on them. But they're really old and they need to be thrown in the dumpster because obviously we can't do nothing with them.
so the 3 that we're talking, well, the 3 that I got quotes on was that laptop, even though it works fine now. Robert for building inspection, so when he goes to conferences and stuff like that, he doesn't currently have one, or he does, and it just is
They
old.
don't make it.
Okay, and then Karen needs a new laptop, so I got a price for all three, but I think we can get away with two. The only thing Jenna and I used for that is for elections and this, and it works fine for both of those, so.
Use that one for elections, I thought we had something for that.
Oh, we do have something for that, yeah, I'm sorry.
So I like to use that one and just get two,
I agree,
and then maybe next year if something starts,
stop now.
yeah, we'll,
Robert be able to use a Surface Pro.
I wouldn't see why not.
talking Robert here.
Yeah, I mean, but it's got a keyboard and everything with it too, just a thought. And it would also be, even if you bought a new one with the warranty and all that stuff on it, you know, cheaper, plus it'd be more fuel friendly.
Well, let's approve one tonight, because Karen needs.
Yeah, Karen needs a list, yeah, and then
let's
can you
talk
bring
to-
it in and have him take a look at it, and then we'll just compensate, you know, you for that computer.
Yeah, or if like you want, well, like I said, if you need to get one new or whatever, at least you can
Yeah,
use that for the time being, see if he likes it, that's out. And
That's
then
not a bad
kind of go
idea.
from there, cause that's a good, I mean, it's probably about the size, but it would be good for out in the field.
Yeah.
To go, you know, they have functions.
Yeah. that's not a bad idea, okay.
Any questions on that, Nick?
No, sir. Do we wanna just get two? I mean, we should probably gotta get some every year, you know.
Mhm.
Keep it rolling.
I'm fine either way, I mean,
How much you talking?
so for three of them, I mean, they're $1,000 a piece, so it'd be $2,100 for two of them.
Got it too.
We know we still do the surface pro, if Robert likes that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
there's
if
something,
something-
If it's
yeah,
something he likes, yeah.
then we
If something
can,
happens to that.
swap them
we're
around.
backup for it.
Yeah.
Let's do two.
okay, who's making,
I'll make a motion to do two laptops at $1,050.
I'll second.
dang.
Expending some money like that.
Oh, yeah.
And we told, we only did that because it's only $1,000.
All right, Supervisor Bobby.
Yes.
Clerk Stephanie, yes, Treasurer Joel,
Yes.
Trustee Shelby,
Yes.
and Trustee Heck.
Yes.
All right, new business. Onto a noxious weed ordinance, which I talked to Newbie about it, and it kind of falls under blank.
So we don't
We
really,
really don't need to fool this too bad yet.
Can you
The
explain?
noxious weed ordinance, it seems like every weed out there now is edible, so now it's not protected anymore, or it is protected, you can't kill it, so.
so how did this come about? What was the
We got a
conversation?
couple of properties that Township got. Well, and I'm not gonna use that really across the street, but that's a farm field, so
Yeah.
that would be off limits. But we got some people's residents, the weeds are that tall and they have a cow pasture in their door. Oh, they're not eat up by ticks and being on me, so to me, it's a health hazard.
But it's covered in by blight and where,
Yes.
okay, so
So
we
we're
don't,
gonna kind of,
X-name.
yeah,
Right, 'cause this is just about yards,
Yeah.
you know, and
Well,
I'm gonna use my own house for, like my ditch, I let it grow. Because if you don't let it grow, it caves in.
yes.
So my neighbor across the street, he cuts this right down to nothing. And he's had stone brought in because the grass will not hold it up and it's 10 foot deep. You don't put a little bit of tree and shrubbery in there.
I'm good with that.
I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, I think more of it is like in the yards.
In
where
yards,
people are
residential
actually,
areas that people are having.
they get out of their
fit.
car and they're stretching through the forest to get to their front yard.
And I know there's some that blow in the farmer's fields and they grow and it's nasty when they do a harvest.
So that's the only reason I kind of was bringing it up, but ordinance officer said basically it falls under blight, we can kind of tackle it that way, so. This would be for residential, basically residential, even though you live in a agricultural district, you're still zoned as R1. As a secondary zone, so. We'll just go with the blight on it for now, if we have problems, we'll come back and revisit it, so. Just pretty much scratch it off, I think we discussed it.
Yeah, I'll just correct it.
On to the pre-development 425 agreement. So. I'll just say no. We're
Can
not
you,
vacating.
can you explain what it is?
425 agreement is like a binding contract with us and another township, more, not really a township, but more of a village. of Dundee is what he wants us. We already have a 425 with Milan right now.
So a 425 agreement is when two municipalities agree to pretty much transfer land, property from one entity to the other. Under a contract that, like, the township would
Both parties have
get,
to agree.
right, both parties have to agree to it. The township, like with the city, we get X amount, whatever it is, and then it's up for however many years.
And it says the purpose of Act 425 is to provide a means for two local units of government to share tax revenues resulting from new or expanding development in the areas of their jurisdiction. Typically, it's a city and a township.
So this pre-development 425 agreement that we have in front of us is in regards to the data center that was proposed to us or brought in front of us a couple months ago, where the data center is going. We have like 125 acres that's in Milan Township, the rest is in Dundee Township. They want to merge that in this 425 agreement.
But it's also, it's a third municipality too, it's not a village.
Correct. So it'd be,
Let me step in quickly just for,
yeah, please.
because I went through this thing today in my fun reading time. This is not a 425 agreement.
Correct,
This is a pre-agreement
correct.
to look into or explore the feasibility of the 425. So before we just,
Scratch it, right.
before we scratch it, the 425 agreement, and what I understand, I talked to Senator today.
Yeah, why not?
But anyway, I talked to him, and the 425 agreement is agreement between township and the village, and in this case, another township. But it's negotiating contract, so it's not set in stone that, you know, we're gonna get all the tax, we're not gonna get any tax, we're not gonna get little tax, big tax. It's negotiated, so I think we might wanna,
So,
I'm not saying I wanna sign this,
so,
but this was a heavier reading than, one day.
so
This
this,
needs to be looked at to say, do we want to participate? And I would maybe talk to somebody who actually got involved with the pre-425 agreement. And I don't know if our attorney has ever heard of that.
No, I've never seen a pre-425 agreement.
so,
I don't know what
Here's what it says, right?
I'm not sure what the purpose would be of a pre-425 agreement.
Okay, here's the purpose. The parties will explore, the parties will cooperate to explore the feasibility of the 425 agreement and to negotiate, draft, and pursue all necessary approvals to enter into the 425 agreement.
Well, why do you need that? You could do that without a pre-425 agreement.
This
In
is
fact,
mine.
I know. What I'm saying
I'm not
is,
saying
what I'm
it.
saying is you could do all those things without a pre-425 agreement.
I agree.
Now, 425 agreement has to rely on the economic development project, right? First and
Yeah,
foremost,
correct.
right? And then it's a conditional transfer of land based on that contractual.
Right.
The two important parts are the sharing of tax revenue, how that's going to be divided amongst the parties, as well as who is going to control aspects of the services provided to the property. So, for example, utilities. Who's providing utility service? Who's providing fire, police, zoning, right? Because all of those are up for grabs in that contractual relationship, including those people, if you had people located on that property, where they vote. So all of that can be retained at the township. It can be transferred to the receiving entity. And then the big issue is how long, and then what happens to the property at the termination of that period. So Act 425 allows you to transfer it up to 50 years with a renewal of additional 50 years after that. So it could be as long as 100 years, and then you have to determine, well, what happens to the property after that, as well as any default provisions, like for instance, let's say they didn't share tax revenue with you. That would be a material breach of the agreement, and upon the material breach, then the property likely comes back to the township. Or it just comes back at the end of that 50 or 100 years.
So that was sort of my, not all of that, because that's way above my favorite, but my initial thoughts with the pre-development agreement is, why do we need to have an agreement to sit down to discuss the possibility? It just feels like a trap.
Well,
I know.
what I'm saying is I'm not voting on something that I don't know what this thing is.
Right,
So I read this today to figure out what this thing is. I still don't know what this thing is, and I read it.
all
So I read it
know-
twice.
All I know is that we received this from Marty, which is our other lawyer. And he was not in favor of this,
I'm not in favor
Right.
of a lot of things.
because he said there's no benefit to Milan Township by doing this.
I don't know that yet.
Okay.
And I don't
Something
think,
could be.
I don't think we all know that yet.
Correct.
Until we hear the
All,
other end of this.
right. all I know is
We
that,
need to hear from, hold on a minute, we need to hear from, what's it called now? It's not Crossman, it's now it's Ironwood.
it was Cloverleaf, now it's Ironwood,
Ironwood Staff.
so,
That's who the agreement is with, so I would like to see what they have to say about this agreement. I'd like to hear somebody out before I tell them,
oh, no, that's fine.
I'm saying. I mean,
Yeah, right.
Let's skip on the Joel for a minute. I'm gonna give you my thoughts for recollected here.
I'm with the lawyer there, you know, why, this is kind of a waste of time, I think, isn't it?
Well, you don't need it to do those
Yeah.
things.
You can
Right.
still do a 425 agreement without this.
It just seems like a lot of,
Well, like Stephanie said, you can send an email and say, hey, let's meet and talk about this.
why,
Yeah.
I don't see the.
We do they have you under a barrel when you, well, you signed this,
Mhm.
so we gotta go along with it, we gotta do that.
And that's my biggest fear, I guess. My other thing is too, does Dundee have a 425 agreement with the city of Monroe for water? No. Petersburg, Ida, they got water, but they don't have a 425 agreement, so why would we need a 425 agreement to get water? That's my big thing. I mean, we're gonna negotiate, so let's say data center comes in, I'm gonna let you guys talk about this, hold on. Data center's gonna come here, we're gonna go to town, and then it's gonna go through Dundee Township. It's gonna come to us, and then the Dundee Village is gonna try to reap most benefits, which they will, because obviously they're gonna have a little fun on it. It can be negotiated out, but I don't feel comfortable with this at all.
I don't
I'm
feel-
not comfortable with it, but I don't know exactly what it is. So I think we should find out what this is. And the reason I say that is because it says right in there, negotiate. I negotiated contracts more like doing that. So I like to know what that means. What are we gonna negotiate? I'd like to hear what we're gonna negotiate.
I mean, we're gonna 425 of them, and get the tax base forever, what's on there right now.
Are they
No
gonna
one's
put water in
developed, we
the
don't
township?
get it.
Are they gonna put water in this township? Are they gonna put natural gas in this township? Are they gonna put
Right.
get a fire truck uptown? What's the negotiation?
Right.
I don't know what that is. So, you know, before I threw this away in the trash can today, I did once I dug it out. But, you know, I think we need to see what
Very vague.
it,
So,
see, okay, in order to get something, you gotta give something in a contract. So if you don't have a contract, you can't get nothing. But if you got a contract, and you get something, you can get something. If you don't have a contract and you get something, no, that's a problem. Why'd you get something? You have a contract. 425 contract has nothing to do with this negotiation issue. That's with Dundee and Dundee Village, and mostly Dundee Village, because they're the ones you're gonna probably get the water and, you know, most of the, you know, fire department and all that,
so,
you know, from.
Like I said, 425 agreement is just, it's a legal procedure.
but what I'm hearing is though, like I said, this is not a 425 agreement,
No.
it's a pre-development agreement. But what else I'm hearing is that Nick wants to know exactly what this is, right? And why we need it.
What I understand with this, and then we'll let the gentleman talk. They want to say, Have to.
Yeah.
They want help getting this thing done. Work with us to get this thing done, and if you work with us to get this done, we will do X. That's this agreement. That's kind of how I believe this agreement works. And we'll let them dispute that for.
Run.
Go for it.
So I stand up.
Doesn't matter, go ahead.
So state your name and who you are.
My name is Prem Patel. I'm from Cloverleaf Infrastructure. I'm a development manager there. My background is in city planning. I've worked in the city of Philadelphia for 10 years before Cloverleaf. I was a building code official there. I just want to just clarify the agreement. That's a pre-development agreement. It's not a 425 agreement. The way you described it, perfect. It was amazing. All that agreement really does is lets us fund any cost that you incur to explore that agreement. So for instance, if you wanted to say, hey, I want to go hire a great lawyer, we would cover the cost for you guys to explore the agreement. There's no obligation to sign a 425 agreement. It just, if there's any cost that you guys incur, we'll cover it because we understand smaller townships don't always have the funds to tackle big projects. So that's the high level of it.
Okay, so why not just give each municipality 50 grand and say, use this to help us develop this and just have us sign a one page. This just seems like a lot.
And why, or just do a reimbursement and say, yes, we'll explore this, talk about it, negotiate it, we'll reimburse it at the end.
Right.
Kind of like basically what we did with Oregon. They gave us X amount of dollars. They burned it all up, obviously. And we had to get more, but I mean, that's how it works with them. It's like, hey, we need $5 grand, and we used it up, and they say we need another $2,500 bucks. And I don't remember what the final figure was, but that's how we operate with that. I would feel a lot more comfortable. I mean, if that's what you guys are used to, I think we're definitely open to that, but also we have to get lawyers involved in everything we do. Right. But it's part of the business, so it's obviously if that's something, the way you've done something before, we are open to it. You have a template of how you guys went about it previously. We're open to we're open to ideas. We just, our biggest thing is, from my perspective, I've been on the city side before, where they're like, hey, go do that, go do that, go do that, and it just burns the hours. So our goal is just to cover the cost. If there's an easier way, you guys, if there's an easier way to do it, Lauren, we're all ears. Yeah, I just don't feel comfortable
Yeah.
signing a video agreement. It's, if you
I
guys have
didn't, I didn't hear his first name.
Corinne Patel.
Okay.
Rhymes with Corinne.
Okay.
That's the way.
Thank you.
But yeah, we're open to ideas. If you have a template, if we send it over, we'll look at it. Again, it's an agreement to negotiate, to explore. If you guys turn out you guys don't want to do it, it's agreement to explore.
I guess another question for you guys is what is your process looking like? Because it seems very dismantled where, you know, I'm getting information, our lawyer is getting information and that's how we got this. And he was blindsided because he thought we knew about it. We knew nothing about this. And it just seems like things are being done through the back door and things aren't being brought to the forefront. It just seems like, you know, other people are hearing about things, the township is doing things, the village is doing things, and then we're sort of just sitting here going, we have no idea what's going on, and then we hear from our lawyer who's getting communication, but we're not. And it just seems very disjointed. So it doesn't make us feel very good about this project, because I think we had indicated at your guys' first meeting with us, be very forthcoming, because we don't take kindly to, you know, things trying to come through without anybody's knowledge.
Well, I think, again, this whole process is very complicated because we are working with 3 different entities. If normally, any other project, you're going through one township, and it's, okay, going through there, one permit, one this. This time, we're dealing with 3 entities, 3 different lawyers, 3 different rules, regulations. So I don't think there's a typical playbook for a 425 agreement. You know, this is our first one that we're working through. I've done a couple of my past life. I think if there's a better way for communication for this open channel, we would love to know what that is, because it is very tough coordinating people and their schedules. But if we are a very transparent company, we don't have NDAs with anybody. If you go look at other townships, you'll have big companies with 7 LLCs under them, NDA signed.
we don't have any NDA signed with anybody. We're very transparent what we do. Obviously, we would love to bring a data center partner with you guys in this community. Obviously, there's a ton of benefits to tax revenue, infrastructure upgrades, especially with no groundwater. There's a lot of educational things as well that go into the township, into your community. So, I mean, we're all about transparency. If there's a better way for us to handle it, we're all for it. It's just, this is a very dynamic process to go through. And again, some of these documents, obviously, they're gonna come left and right, and our biggest thing is like, we don't want to overwhelm anybody here. So if there's a cost for you guys to go hire, great, and over here.
Or we can find a contact.
Yeah,
Like
the point
your
of
point
contact,
is not
yeah.
the attorney if it's.
Well, it started out with us and then it got to the attorney and we're not quite sure how it
There
got
was
to
a
the attorney.
meeting that I think maybe you guys were able to make, I think at one point, and that
Maybe
maybe
you guys set up and within 3 days I could make.
So we're only here
No,
one,
no, I get it.
yeah, we're only here
Absolutely.
1 day a week,
Yeah, no,
so,
I totally get it.
yeah.
So, yeah, if there's somebody though that's better, at the point.
Or maybe just like, it's gonna be an email, have the attorney and supervisor on it, so at least we're like, oh, hey, this is possibly coming to the table in a month.
No, I work with you guys, don't get me wrong, I want it. It all starts out, I really want to develop our township, but I mean, it's coming. We got an industrial district, that's what it's for, the way some of our rules are written, it's kind of set up for this, I get it. But don't go through a back door, because then they'll shoot you right out the front door.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, I won't joke around on that, my job is to protect this township and my residents.
I do want to ask, obviously, with the data center regulations, the funds are there if you guys do want to hire somebody to help. That's what we are here for. This is, writing data center regulations are not easy. He is subject matter expert in it. So, at the end of the day, we want you guys to safeguard your community, look out for the best interest of your community. And at the end of the day, it's going to be a perfect balance. It's not going to be a perfect balance, but it will be a perfect balance. That makes sense.
Well, we're just concerned that, 425 here comes in, it scares me to death, we already did one with my own, it's not working out the greatest.
I think when I see a lot of legal paperwork in front of me, I get scared too. So if there's a way to simplify it, we are here for it.
Say, if all you're asking is for us to use your money to look into this, then I feel like a 15-page document isn't necessary, but I'm not a lawyer, so.
I like that, confer with our lawyer here, probably next week when I have a phone call.
Yeah, that's fine, because I haven't read it.
Okay.
But just since I've done so many of these, I would venture a bet that the property would be transferred to the village. The reason for that is because the village can levy up to 12.5 mils. It would not make sense for you to do a 425 with another general law township who is limited to 1 mil on their operating, because even if they then levied their tax rate, there's nothing to distribute to you, right? But at 12.5 mils for a general law village, that's where you get into the tax share, the revenue share.
Value.
Yeah, but I mean, 1%. Yeah, but what, again, if you're looking at it from a township perspective, right? And they're levying their operating millage, and depends on who's providing services and at what cost, then yes, the taxable value goes up. So you generate more revenue, and then you have to determine whether or not that revenue is sufficient to distribute to the other entities making up this, what I'll call a triad for now, and what rate you would negotiate. So at a minimum, at a bare minimum, you would get whatever your millage would be levied on that portion of the property if it were developed. The only way to do that then is to transfer it to the village so they can levy 12.5 mils.
Visit that, have a chat.
So should we agree to table this pending a conversation with the lawyer and engineer and Nick?
What's the negotiate? What are we negotiating? Can we negotiate something?
Or they not today.
Well,
Yeah, what is the negotiation, yeah, if this is just a pre-development agreement, what are we negotiating in this time?
If you want to negotiate, you guys want to bring in outside counsel, if you want to bring in land use attorneys, there's a lot of people, subject matter experts for engineering work. There's a lot to it that goes into just evaluating your own infrastructure, right? To to see if a data center or this campus.
So if we signed this, would we be using it would be our, who we choose?
You would go higher if you guys were on, and then essentially you would send an invoice to us.
And you could come back and they say, no.
Yeah.
I mean, you can hire experts and
Yeah.
analyze it all and then say, no. That's kind of thing.
You just don't want you guys to pay your own money, township.
Yeah, I'm not paying, yeah, you should take their money.
It doesn't
Run
make
the
sense.
business.
At the end of the day, there's.
Well, and it's just, yeah, it's exploratory, right? Like,
Yeah.
you shouldn't, okay, you should be able to feel like you're not constrained by dollar amounts to investigate ahead of time, right? Because most people aren't subject matter experts in this kind of thing, right? So the idea is you feel like you have the right resources to investigate it properly, if you're comfortable, one way or the other. Part of that is, it's often it's like, you need to find somebody that's specific and, you know, not somebody that
Do you wanna do motion, not a motion, but we would just do one?
I like to table it, just so we can have a better conversation.
Yep.
Some other people involved with it. But table it until next one.
What?
2 weeks ago.
I was saying it was after our last meeting.
In the meantime, though, if there is communication, do you want to be? Yeah.
It should come to the supervisor, me, and now we're there.
Yeah, okay. And our engineer.
And our engineer.
For us.
We're in constant communication with one of us, so.
Tabling it.
Let's do that. I
Make a
think,
motion.
oh, what?
I make a motion to table a 425 agreement.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on. Board comments. So, want to welcome the board, Mrs. Alstead.
Yeah.
Last weekend, with the help of our minister here, Mr. Dax.
Yeah.
Oh, man, should have got a picture.
Oh,
Dang
you were
it.
lucky.
Oh,
I got it.
yeah. well,
You do?
I got what you want.
Oh,
That's too bad,
dang.
too late.
Anyway, I do have a meeting with Monroe County Road Commission next week. I've been in contact with them. It's my yearly meeting. We decide what roads we're gonna do, what we're gonna touch, what we're gonna attempt to do. Matt is one of the supervisor engineers down there. He gave me a copy of the ditch. All the ditches are township. All of them. You know, we really only touch, roads. And we're gonna go through and start hitting them a little harder. We hit them pretty hard this year. We've seen how by you. One end of it. I mean, you got a swamp down there we gotta work on next year too. So that's what I'm bringing up. We're gonna put a plan together to circumvent some of this. You wanna go with it? Busy Monday?
Well, we'll talk about it. Yeah, somebody got one there.
I mean, but other than that, I think it's something we need to stay on point with it. They've done a great job for us right now. I actually talked with Dave at the last meeting about, you know, they cut a berm up the road, they put about 6 inches of gravel now. We're talking about, now that we're slowly getting these roads done, we got about another year to get them all done. And then we're gonna start to do like a maintenance. We're gonna drop stone out again, but not 6 inches, just. They keep running through this process, because it's half the cost, it's a third of the cost. And if we keep these roads up,
You won't have to put 6 inches of stone on
no. Because they those.
and grade it and do the
And you'll,
berms.
right, and the conversation I had was, we overgrade the roads, which they don't anymore, we don't have mud, we don't have problems, so things are gonna change greatly. Most of those under road you do. They're really dusty or not too bad considering.
It's not bad at all.
It's been dry.
It's been dry. Yeah, I mean, it's a dirt road, I'm not gonna let my front windows, but, no, it's not nearly as, my red roof is not dust covered with that.
That was a new process we used where they do brine down the whole road and then they come back and do quarry down the middle. You know, something we experiment with. These roads don't seem to shoot us, so. I haven't got any comments back from our people yet, but residents.
Okay.
But anyway, that's all I really got. What else? No, that was it.
Just a reminder, election is coming up November 5th, that we will have a couple villages on there for Washtenaw ISD and Monroe Community College, and then the county commissioner. I did not hear what the judge ruling was on that, if,
Hasn't ruled yet.
what's that?
Hasn't ruled yet.
Hasn't ruled yet? I
No.
thought they were supposed to rule it like a week ago.
2 weeks ago.
All right, I stand corrected.
Yeah.
Jeez, oh, Pete. So, county commissioner's still on the ballot, but not sure if that's gonna change, so. Yeah, no 9 days of voting, it's just the 1 day, that Tuesday.
Treasurer.
Monday the 15th is the last day to pay your taxes without penalty. That's 1%. Most of them gotta pay, you know. I want to say about the dust though. If you come down Flat Road towards town, it is a little dusty. Probably just because all the big trucks. Yeah.
I would say, it is funny how different
North of Sherman.
those, like, either side of Sherman is.
Because that's due to the semis coming
Yeah.
out of the plant, coming in our no truck district,
Yeah.
and right, turning around.
Yeah.
Going down Sherman and Walmart.
I do know that.
That's all I got.
Let's get back to our clerk here.
So, Andrew, our cemetery guru, he sent me the invoice for the cemetery signs, so he went and picked those up today. And so he'll be working to get those, the rules and regulations for the cemeteries, so.
Trustee Stroud.
Well, in Tuesday's planning commission meeting, we went through the ordinance for house, or we'll call it small solar, because we don't have it in our solar ordinance. So this is for items that are 25 kilowatt capacity or less. Selling back to the grid just for your own personal house use. We got a ordinance from Dave. We went through it pretty much line by line Tuesday, and we have a few tweaks in here, and we should be close. Get this in, just because the solar, if people are starting to put these, and they are, there's several of them throughout the township right now. Try to get a set standard of what you can and can't do. You know, right now, there's some big ones, there's some small ones, front yard, backyard, side yard, you know, we're gonna try to say backyard only, so many feet from the property line, just to get some, you know, uniform items on it, you know, and you know how much percent of your property you can have. But anyway, so we have, this is pretty close to being ready, and we are looking at the data center ordinance that you provided to us. This one we'll be doing in our next monthly meeting. That's it.
Trustee Alcenter.
On the home solar, small solar, I would recommend sooner rather than later, because I was approached last week on Friday about putting them on the roofs of our barns.
Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be an issue on the roof.
Just on the ground.
Yeah, but I mean,
But
guy
people are out
had
and
a
about.
bright orange Toyota Tacoma coming around, so.
if they're up before this comes out.
Yeah.
God bless you.
But,
This is-
they're out there,
this is-
they're coming around.
The main reason we looked into this is so we wouldn't have some neighbors squabbling because somebody put one right next to their house within
Right.
5 feet of the property line or something, and it was 12 feet or 25 feet or whatever.
Yeah,
You know, the ones that are up on Carpenter Road, they're not much more than 8 feet high, and that's a commercial
Yeah.
facility.
Right.
You know, they might be 10 if they're straight up, but they're not much more than 8 feet.
Yeah.
So, you know, so we wanted to get something that if those work for commercial, then that size, if they're on the ground, should work for somebody's house.
Yeah.
You shouldn't need to have one 20 feet in the air, stuff like that is what we're looking at. The roofs, I don't know if there's gonna be any, I don't think we had any stipulation on it. If you put it on the roof, how much of the roof you can cover, that's something you, isn't it?
Well, no, it's actually building code actually covers that. Because you gotta make sure that the roof will cover it.
Like, no, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a bigger issue, that's a bigger issue if they will be able to accept it.
Yeah, so, you know, I don't think.
I wouldn't say put anything in the roof.
Put it in for free. I was like, okay.
Yeah, 30 years later,
Mine was, mine was
100 grand.
65 grand,
Yeah.
put it on my roof, and I'm like, yeah, nice day.
Well, the way that's written though, you would only be able to use the electricity you're making, so I don't know why they do that for free.
Right.
There's something wrong there.
I said, it's not really a good day for the stuff out of the house.
You have anything else?
Is that before or after the bull was coming in?
Before.
Ah,
We have no staff here tonight, so we don't have to worry about that. We do have, Dundee Township Supervisor here tonight, watching over us. We're gonna do public comment here in a minute. Do you have any quick comments at all, or?
Well, I said I wouldn't comment, but due to the conversation over there about the agreement, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but what I have been told is the reason they are asking for this pre-agreement is they don't want to spend a lot of time and effort and money, and then we don't even try to negotiate for a 425. So that was the reason that I was told that you would like to have a 425. I mean, a pre-agreement. So, just want to clarify that if I'm right or wrong, but that was my understanding of it.
Right.
And the kind of the sequence that we went through is we got that first one that I call pre-agreement 1.0. And I immediately said, I can't sign this because they were really trying to rush us. And called our lawyer. And she had commented and said, well, we're gonna have a meeting next week. So I was aware of this. So I'm not sure why you guys didn't get the information, but I was aware that we're gonna have another meeting. And from that meeting came this pre-agreement 2.0, I call it. And it's basically they were saying that it's almost like a letter of intent is the way it was they were trying to formulate it as. And they just wanted to, warm fuzzy basically that we were all gonna talk and that one of us, wasn't gonna just, but it also, it looks to me like, as I read it, I'm not a lawyer, but it looked as if there's off ramps for us. That if we get, or we know they're not gonna do that, we can get out of it. Is that correct?
100% correct.
So, that's the only thing I had.
Yeah, that's why we got.
I've had mine agreement longer than you guys
Yeah.
have, so.
Yeah.
Everybody's like yours.
oh,
Oh, yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Dave, you had something?
Yeah, I got a couple things. I'm working on the cemetery ordinance. We're modifying that because of the incident we had there. Talking about it. And we're also working on a telecommunication tower ordinance too, that the planning commission has got our comments back from that already too, so we're gonna be tweaking that thing as well.
Is that what we've been working on for like a year and a half with Brian Cabat? Or is that
And that's a
different?
telecommunication tower, but I'm talking about the ordinance
Oh, okay.
itself, yeah. But we have not received anything back. Have you?
No.
You
No.
saw my comments, right?
Oh, yeah,
I gave you 3 options.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, no, I have received.
Still your
everything.
fault.
it's, of course,
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
I actually looked at the drawings.
It's not a disaster.
So that's all I have.
Okay.
Public comment.
On your solar,
State your name.
Denny List, and what you will have to really investigate on solar on your property, if you put it on a building, 'cause I've done it already, call your homeowner's insurance company. Because your homeowner's insurance company are the ones that are going to tell you nay or yay.
Right.
Because of your roof, where you put it, even on a barn, they're still going to be the dictator to you, and then you're gonna be a little shocked if you putting it on what they're going to acknowledge by saying, now we're gonna raise your rate for homeowners insurance.
Oh,
And it's
absolutely.
not just the one, it's all of them. They're basically telling where, why, how.
Yeah.
Your roof. Also, if you get a major storm, you have solar up there, and your roof becomes a disaster. Hang on, what do you think it's gonna cost to replace it all? And your insurance company will say, nay, it's your responsibility.
Let you get a writer on, writer
Before
policy.
you do it, don't worry about what the manufacturers are saying. Call your homeowner insurance company and get a direct quote from what they're gonna tell you, what you're allowed to have. Because you'd be shocked. I just dropped. It wasn't worth it after they told me what my responsibility would be in storm or any of the loss of the roof. And I have steel roofs on everything.
Yeah.
So be extremely careful. Now, don't listen to the sales guy, make sure you call your insurance.
Thank you. Anybody else? Hold on. State your name.
Lori Green. I have a question for these two gentlemen here. You're representing an investment firm, or you're representing the data center that's going in? What is your part in all this conversation this evening? We're trying to piece all this together.
We are a horizontal developer, meaning we work with the utility companies, we work with the jurisdictions, we'll get the power contracts in place, we'll get the entitlements, we'll get possibly early development agreements in place, and then what we do is we will sell that package to an end user. Typically, the end users could be one of the hyperscalers. A hyperscaler is like AWS, Microsoft, Google, Meta, and then there's like a smaller tier, which are co-locators like Vantage, EdgeConnect, a few other companies. But what we're basically doing is getting the site pad ready, and then we'll be working with the big companies, and then if this project ever moves forward, we will slowly bring them in, introduce them to your staff, to the team, to know the expectations, the incentives that they're gonna bring to the community. But we're just a horizontal developer, and sometimes we'll break ground, but we try not to. We'll usually just line up the end user. Our team has a very subject matter expertise in this industry. Our chief development officer was a global director at Meta and Microsoft, so we have a lot of the connections where, you see a lot of townships say, we're gonna get a data center, and that data center company just backs out, and then they're left hanging, holding the ball. The good thing about working with Cloverleaf is we have so many people in the industry that we will almost have a bidding process for people to come into your community. So, short answer to your question, we're like a middleman. We'll get the contracts in place, and we'll help bring in the end user so the community benefits.
So do they,
We
we
will
talk
not-
about tax abatement and all that stuff. So if the state of Michigan does tax abatement, so there's no tax share once these data centers come in.
Well, if it ever gets to that stage, county, the local economic development authority, that's something the end user would usually work out. We won't have a role with that. But typically, if those are major issues, those are gonna be major issues that will be addressed by the end users.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Mr. Minnick?
Dale Benicki, I was listening to your ordinance about the deep injection well, and you offered your service to the well to other surrounding townships. We know that Edison is gonna build a gas-powered power plant somewhere down in this area. They need the plant. By offering that to your other townships, you have an asset that Edison needs. If you drill that well, it's gonna be in your township. You're only gonna, so then they build $1 billion plant in the next township. All you're gonna get is 10 cents for your waste. I would limit it to just my township. Otherwise, you're gonna just be the dumping ground for the $1 billion plant that somebody else is getting all the revenue for.
Agree.
That's not a bad.
The analogy of that.
We won't get any monetary from them, because you said, oh yeah, everybody else will come.
Right.
And having said that, I wasn't in favor of these plants or anything, but Dick and I toured one.
I'll bring that up here.
I would be.
We toured it Monday. One up in East China. But there was very, it was a wealth of knowledge to go up there and look at it and walk it. And we were talking to the plant manager who was actually there during construction, so very informative, I thought. You know, this lady knew it from the ground up. It's very interesting. It's what they're doing with electricity now, how they're producing it. You know, I'm used to coal-fired power plants because that's what we tore down. So those are dirty, grimy, just because of the coal, and they're all old. This facility was clean, new, shiny, nobody there. I mean, we've seen what?
One guy walk around,
Yeah.
two people in the control room.
This place is very, very, very minimally staffed, and I don't want to say visible, because it is a hunk of stuff, but it's nothing like a coal-fired power plant. I got pictures, I didn't put them together, we just went there Monday, but I'm gonna put them together, I'll get them to Township we can put them up here for, you know, everybody. Hopefully by the next meeting, I'll have them on, we'll look through it, I can discuss what I asked them where they're getting the water. You know, I asked them where they're getting the gas. You know, I asked quite a few questions, and really they were there just for, there were three of us that went, Dale, myself, and Mr. Molino. And I mean, they were there answering whatever we asked, tough questions or not. And it was interesting. They got two turbines that are natural gas powered, and the steam generated from those two turbines are shipped over to another turbine that is steam powered. So the waste, if you will, the waste steam is getting generated over here, generating power. So it is very interesting. And it's interesting that the size of that plant is going to generate power for this area. And it was on, they said 34 acres. I think they kind of pushed it together a little, but
They weren't collecting carbon there either. Yeah.
they weren't collected. They must have been started,
Yeah.
they started before that.
Regulation.
Yeah. It took 5 years to build it. So with that being said, they want to open this 32, which is when they're supposed to shut down the Monroe coal-fired plant. So that puts it at 28, start construction here. If that's indeed what they end up doing, I think it might depend on this well, you know, if the well's going to work or not. But I'll have a good pictures, and I'll answer any questions. It was good to see, and that's why I want to go to a data plant and look at a data plant, so I can touch it, feel it, and see what it really is about. And a data plant, I'll go around and talk to the neighbors, I'll talk to some people and see what they say about it. When it's been there for a little while. Data plants are going to increase your electrical bill. Why? Because the infrastructure it takes to put them in, just the money to build them. You know, it's going to, everybody's bill is going to be absorbed in the whole state, or, you know, DTV. But it's interesting. What they do is these turbines are not big. They're the buildings, you know, that the turbine is in. If you go look at it, and you say that's going to generate that much electricity. It's when you look at the coal-fired plant, you know what you say. Yeah.
My thought was to gladly trade one of those plants for 2,000 acres of solar.
Oh, absolutely. 10 times.
Yeah.
10 times.
In a minute.
Yeah. Or steel mill, or anything else you could put in an industrial zone.
Yeah. There's no truck traffic in and out or anything, it's just, it's just there. Same for a data. Somebody else.
Does the board want to reconsider their motion for the injection well, changing it from adjacent townships to Milan Township only?
Absolutely.
Make an amendment to that?
Make a motion to amend it to.
Milan Township.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yes, thank you.
Anybody else have anything else? Anybody online?
Question.
Yes.
Oh,
On the CO2 ordinance, was that one that was supposed to have a public hearing?
it did.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
It was the planning commission.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Thanks, Aaron.
Yep.
Guess you did something right.
I make a motion to call the meeting at 8:28 p.m.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
I looked at later,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I like when this video.
I know, that'll be over, like, night down in the winter.